No two minds think alike. Tyler, with Grammarly's help, is trying to impress his boss. After that time he told her,
I'm a suppositor. This is hilarious. Terrible way to start. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. It's been a couple minutes. There. I think I did it. Yeah. Automatic save. How's it going, Zelda N64 fan? How are you tonight? How are you this morning? Have you got this game? Are you playing it? Planning on getting it? I bought it digital a while back. I was a little upset because I tried playing it right at midnight here on the East Coast. And it was 10 after midnight, and there's people on the West Coast that right at 9 o'clock for them, the game was working. And it took like 15 minutes for the game to actually work for me. And then I didn't even get to playing it. And it's been an hour since then. But I'm really pumped for this game. We're gonna check it out here and see just how things work out with it.
Huh?
Oh.
Yeah.
This game looks really good though. You know, it's got that easy on the eye art style, but it's really clean. And it seems like they did a pretty good job with it. And it's weird to see just how much Luigi's evolved over the years. And now he's kind of, you know, his character model. He's very definitive now. And that's his final form.
Here we go. Here we go. Yeah.
Like in the older games, he was a little bit chubbier. And I kind of like that.
Let's go.
You know, now I think he looks a little bit too much like a cartoon. Like now his mustache is moving underneath his nose and stuff.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Come on.
So we're at Hotel Luigi.
Oh. Wow.
It's funny because I never played the original Luigi's Mansion until just a couple months ago. And I actually just beat it the other day for the first time ever. I gotta say, it was alright. But I don't have no nostalgia for it, so it's not quite like how other people make it out to be. I thought it was like a good 6 or 7 out of 10 type of game. It was fun though. I like the mansion.
Here I go.
Oh, yippee, wee-hee. Yeah. Check. This definitely has more of a interactive cutscene kind of feel, which I could kind of tell from the trailers. I also know it's got kind of a, like here where as you move, the camera kind of pans and zooms in and all that. And I know it does that during the cutscenes too. It's so big, Luigi, it's gorgeously decorated too. Always got to go to the settings. Okay, so you can totally turn the brightness way down along with your TV. So that's a pretty good feature. All right, gyro sensitivity. One of the issues I found with Luigi's Mansion 1 on the 3DS, I mean, I was playing on the 2DS, but regardless, on the DS, was the fact that it had the gyro controls and also the stick. And I imagine that it was a little bit better originally on the GameCube controller, even though it was probably more usable on the actual 3DS. But I managed pretty well with the game on the 2DS as it was. Please make yourself comfortable. Perhaps you'd like to sample our selection of beverages. These guys ain't fooling no one with their stupid masks. Gotta say though, I'm liking the soundtrack. I think this is gonna be a really good game. There's some purists that are kind of bashing on it, but some of those people only like the original and they're not open-minded enough to enjoy the other games. And I haven't played Dark Moon yet. Well, actually, that's a lie. I played a little bit of Dark Moon, and it wasn't enough to really get a feel for the game. And then I got rid of it because it came with a couple other games that I bought, and I ended up trading it in. And at some point, I'll probably buy Dark Moon and just to see how it is. What's going on, Crystal Kite? How are you? It's been a couple minutes. It's been like a good 2 months since I live streamed last. And so, welcome to the stream. We're playing, of course, Luigi's Mansion 3. The game just started, and I'm just kind of walking around here just seeing, you know, what I can do. Luigi's such a goof. I always wish they would make him, you know, not so goofy. Like there's this one picture of Luigi where he's got massive muscles and like flexing, and he's got, you know, 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock shadow, like super stubbly. And I always thought it'd be kind of cool if they made him, you know, Luigi didn't really have an identity for the longest time. Is something the matter? I hope nothing is making your stay here less than perfect. We're devoted to providing you with the ideal vacation experience. Yeah, they think they're fooling me with their masks. But you know, Luigi didn't have an identity for the longest time. He was just the second player, the green guy. And I mean, I'm alright with Luigi as he stands now. I do think they kind of did him a little bit dirty, like the way that they made him in like the old Smash trailers and stuff, and they make him out to just be this super wimp. Like, I always wanted to see like a Luigi Mario game where Luigi has his own, like, where's Luigi's like princess or girlfriend or boyfriend? Maybe he meets like a prince that dresses in something similar to like Princess Peach. But it'd be cool if Luigi had his own princess and then they had their own games. And I always, you know, back in like probably the late 90s, I always wondered if they were gonna kind of split Luigi off and give him like his own game that wasn't, this was before Luigi's Mansion. And the mansion is basically all that they've given him. So he doesn't have much backstory. Not like Mario really does, but I always just thought it'd be, you know, pretty cool if they just gave him something else to do. Because at this point, you know, Odyssey, Super Mario Odyssey, great game, but then you get to like New Super Mario Brothers and all that, and those are just kind of the same games over and over, and it's like they really haven't been innovative, you know, since Super Mario World. Yes, let's check in. Welcome to the last resort. Hello, Turkey's Basement. What's going on? How are you? Welcome to the stream. How's your day going? Oh, you got school. You're still young and you're lucky though. But yeah, have a good night. Happy Halloween. And I'll see you next time. So take it easy. Hopefully you get this game or enjoy this game whenever. And, you know, take it easy. Peace out. See ya. Absolutely delighted that you decided to accept my invitation. See, I thought the game was going to have a little bit more of a setup beforehand. And basically in the trailer, they show him driving up to the mansion. And that's all it is. There's no, it's all of 30 seconds. You know, I'm only about a total minute into the game. You almost be very tired. Come on, I'm going to show you your rooms. Don't need to worry about your luggage. They'll take care of it for you. And they have these funny masks.
Let's go. Hey.
Let's go. Turkey's Basement. How are you? You like Luigi's Mansion? Have you played the others? It's like I was saying a couple minutes ago. I just beat the first one. I never played it back in the day, and I bought it a few months ago on the 3DS. And I played like 90% through, and then didn't touch it for a few months, and then just a couple days ago I picked it up. And I thought I still had, I don't know, a couple more hours to go in the game, and I probably played for about an hour, and then was up on the roof fighting Bowser, and then it was over. But I have no nostalgia attached to the game like when it came out back in the day, so I would say, you know, I give that game like a 7 out of 10. Because without nostalgia, it was fun, it was decent, it was well done. And even then, I mean, it's the 3DS remake, so, you know, they definitely touched it up and stuff, but I feel like it still had a different kind of feel to the way it originally would have been on the GameCube. And hopefully at some point I can go back and play it the original way, because I got my GameCube set up right over here. I just don't have many games for it. Hope you enjoy your stay. I dare say you'll remember it for the rest of your lives.
Okay.
Mwahaha. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye. Bye. Night night.
Night night. Oh.
They all show up during the day, and then they're just like, oh, night night. Oh. Oh. Yeah, I think you're right on that one. I was also saying a minute ago that I had Dark Moon. It came with another game that I bought. And at that point, I was going to start playing it. And, because I bought it with the new, I bought it with Super Mario 3D Land. Or World. The one for the 3DS. I always get them mixed up, but I bought it with that. Thought that my kid might like Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. He played it for all of like 5 or 10 minutes. I played it for maybe a half hour, but I really was more interested because I heard, you know, so much crap about it. Like, that game seems, well, it seemed universally hated. And or like, oh, it was an okay sequel. But now it seems like there's more people saying like, you know, I didn't have a problem with Dark Moon, like I actually liked it. And so I think as time goes on, I think that game will get a little bit extra love. And some of the people that said that they hated it might go back and actually like replay it just to see, you know, if they were right or not. And then, because I mean, that game's already 4 years old at this point. So I imagine some people would go back and, you know, probably end up thinking differently of it. I know there's nothing really to interact with. I'm just kind of taking my time and going through, like, you can knock the presents over, open up drawers. I mean, it looks really good. This room, it's looking really, really nice.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I get that. I do sort of remember, you know, like, I only maybe played it for a half hour or an hour total. Maybe even less than that. I mean, this was like about a year ago, maybe like this time last year. And I ended up just trading the game because I figured, well, I'll get it back at some point, but I'm more interested in playing the original. And so I ended up just buying it. I ended up just buying it for the DS, and, you know, like I said, it was decent, but I think I'm, with no nostalgia attached, I think this will probably be the one that I actually, like, love, and then probably followed by the original, and then Dark Moon being the last, which I'll definitely play that at some point. Maybe after I beat this, I'll go back and try to play that.
Hello?
Mario. so I got that turned all the way down. And I can see on here it looks okay. So on my TV, I'm going to be turning the brightness way down. Yeah, that's much better. Wow. Yeah, now it feels spooky. I do gotta say though, with the original, like I really like the mansion. The mansion setting was nice. All right, hopefully this game isn't all like these little gaggy jump scares. What was that? I missed it. Little rat. No, no. Yeah, I like the mansion. And, see, I kind of like that effect where it actually gives it a wall. Oh, yeah. Let's go to the hall. See, and I saw other people playing this game. I saw reviews. And I tried to just not watch the video. I'd listen to like people talk about it, and then when they started saying like, you know, after the first half hour, like, then this happens, then I just shut the review off. Because I was like, this is a game I don't really want to know anything about. And it's kind of like hypocritical, because I don't know if you're playing the game or plan on getting it, but kind of like, here I am streaming it. And so some of it'll be given away, or at least if you watch even the first half hour or hour. I mean, it doesn't ruin the game, but, you know, this is a type of game you kind of just need to experience for yourself. And I definitely want to see how this looks in handheld mode. But yeah, I like the original one. I like the mansion. This one definitely has that much bigger feel where you can't even see the ceilings. And pretty much as much for the 3DS remake. You know, the mansion seemed very kind of crammed. But yeah, with the brightness turned down, this actually feels pretty realistic, and I'm actually like getting really excited now. 'Cause I kind of like how, you know, this is sort of like a Luigi's Odyssey mansion, haunted mansion.
Oh my.
And so in that sense, it's actually pretty cool because, you know, Luigi deserves to have his own, you know, super adventure. And so this seems to pretty much like hit on that. Alright, we'll go in here. Like I said, I mean, I'll go back and I'll play Dark Moon at some point. I don't think I'll hate it. I mean, I gotta say, with the first one, there's a few times where I got just sort of bored of going back and forth, back and forth. And since I didn't play it before and I wasn't looking at like a guide or anything, or there was times where, you know, I played it for like 2 hours one day and then just completely set it down, and a few weeks later I'd pick it up, but I wouldn't remember exactly what I was doing. And then, like, at least for the 3DS, every time you would start, back at the front room,
my. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
and then you wouldn't know exactly what had happened before. Like, I'd be like, okay, I remember, you know, I captured, like, the old man up in the mirror or whatever, and then you kind of have to search around for a little bit and figure out what the next step is.
Paper phone.
Well, it is my most esteemed VIP.
Green Moon.
Living up to your expectations. Doesn't it scream good taste?
Ocean.
I can barely contain myself. You have no idea how much I wanted to accept my invitation.
Hux.
Why is that? I'm sure you're wondering. Haha, you see?
Brighter. Set one. Ursa show. Luigi. Ha ha.
He actually does kind of look creepy with those emerald eyes. That old coot had me locked up tight in his lab. See, because how does Dark Moon fit into the picture, like, story-wise? Because I don't even really remember how it starts. Isn't it just kind of the same as this? He just rolls back up into the mansion, and then you just kind of back at it again? I was ready, though, just in case. In fact, my vengeance is nearly complete.
Oh, no.
Well, no, I wasn't saying that you need to understand the story, because there's not really one. But that's why I was wondering with this one if they were all going to be trapped in pictures. Like, I remember the picture frames from the trailer, so I figured that was the case. But I'm also curious to see how, like, Egad comes scooting back in here. It'd be cool if there was another one in it somehow. Even as cool as this will be, it's just this giant, like I said, like Mario Odyssey. Like, it'd be cool for, like, a fourth one in, you know, 8 or 9 years from now. But then again, probably not. I mean, this game's gonna sell really well, so I expect another one in maybe 3 years, 4 years. Sort of like, maybe around this time in 3 or 4 years with, like, the next system. See, that's pretty cool. I don't know if you saw the main menu, but it was like really happy looking and like during the daytime, and I figured they were gonna change the font, you know, to give it like that real Luigi's Mansion feel with the font. But it'd be cool for a fourth one. Somehow, you know, he like wins the lottery again, and they go back to the old hotel, or for some reason he's going back to the old hotel, and it's been sort of like, I don't know, a quick story of the thing got like, after he left, it was like added onto, and instead of maybe being like a 30-story mansion thing, it'd be like the original mansion, but someone put like additions onto it. So it's still like 3 or 4 floors, maybe an extra basement, but the game's like, the mansion's like four of the mansions, you know, placed into a square. Someone like built onto it, and then the thing just kind of got left alone, and it got really dilapidated, and for some reason you're going back there to it, so that it's like the original game, and then with all the stuff added onto it. Because I know one of the bigger issues is in the original for the GameCube, there was a lot of dust and cobwebs and stuff like that, and for the 3DS they removed most of that. Like your vacuum, you would, you know, right here you can see some, you know, little bit of mist under the light, but you could clearly see in some of the reviews for the Luigi Mansion 3DS remake, and it showed it side by side with the original game. See, that's a cool touch with like these spider webs, but it sort of just looks like a curtain. Like, I think that's supposed to be spider web, and it kind of just looks like a, I don't know, piece of wedding gown. I mean, so they got some spider webs over here, but they don't stick out like with that comparison side by side with the original GameCube and the 3DS. Like, some of the cobwebs and stuff were still there, but it just didn't have that same feel. Like on the GameCube, it was basically as you moved the flashlight around, you could really see the dust, you know, and where it was falling from, and it just gave it this really realistic look, even though when you go back, it's like, yeah, it doesn't, you know, it's not today's graphics, so pretty big difference, but you could still see it for what it was, and it's kind of strange that they took it out with the 3DS remake. It's just like a drawer full of shirts jumps out at him. Mario. But I think I think for right now I like this idea of all these different themes and going to all the different floors and there being an elevator. Because, you know, as much as I like the first one, well, like I said, no nostalgia attached, but I still liked it. It didn't completely blow my mind. And so with no nostalgia attached, it was good, I thought. But it definitely did seem like, you know, we never really, I guess, heard any backstory on that because people were kind of upset that the game didn't, you know, the GameCube didn't launch with a Mario game, and instead it launched with that. I guess I'd be curious to know if, you know, they thought they could maybe get that out first, and then Mario would have to wait, and if there's, you know, any possibility that maybe they had kind of kept back Luigi's Mansion, or Mario Sunshine, and then kind of pushed Luigi's Mansion out quicker, and weren't completely able to flesh out all the ideas. But so far, man, you know, GameCube obviously wasn't this capable, and then Dark Moon being on the 3DS, you can only do so much there. But this game really has quite the atmosphere to it. I guess I'm just mostly excited that it's just going to be just an overall fun time, and you know, that it looks good, and that there's cool puzzles, and you're, you know, going from floor to floor, and you know, the original is cool, but it's kind of like, you know, you unlock rooms at a time, you know, one at a time, and then and then you go back down to the first floor, and then you unlock another room, and then you're back in the basement, and not much of the mansion changes. So this is cool that you get I like that the dog's sitting here teaching me. Man, this feels good with a Pro controller. Woof. So it's cool that with this game you go from floor to floor and that it's gonna change up. It's like I said, like when I first saw it, I was like, okay, you know, it's still Luigi's Mansion. They're making it a mansion, but it is kind of like Luigi's Mansion Odyssey because we saw the different floors. We saw, you know, there's like a dance floor and a rave and a graveyard, and then there's kind of that lookout tower balcony thing, and then there's this Egyptian Sphinx kind of pharaoh area, and it's pretty cool that, you know, there's a bit of stuff to be changed up.
Ellie.
Yeah, this feels much better than the 3DS. Well, like I said, I played it on the 2DS. And having no second thumbstick for that was like really difficult. So I would guess it would have been better on an actual 3DS with the little nub. But here you just can't actually beat just having the Pro Controller. Like, I mean, the cones are like disintegrating. You know, I ripped that piece of the wall off. I can shake the light around. The car's wobbling. I mean, that's... That's one of the cool things that I like about the first one was going around and trying to, you know, even if it was an area I've already been in, just trying to see if I could collect more money or more of like the gold bars. And here, look at, I mean, I'm only in this first little spot and there's just money falling out of things. So yeah, there's gonna be a lot of secrets to this.
Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah, it did seem like that, like for Dark Moon. So I guess it kind of has like that curse of like it not being an open world, whereas this is like an open building kind of game. So, and then having like the mission-based thing. I do think I did play like maybe 2 or 3 missions from Dark Moon. But already this is you know, having like the charge up on the light. And I know there's a lot of people complaining about the Luigi smash attack and how it is kind of just like a one shot and it looks cheap, I guess, and it's one of those things where it's like you don't really have to do it, but you kind of do have to do it, because I'm sure there's certain areas where it's like you gotta slam the enemy to get through it. But I think it's one of those things where when you just see it done, you're like, oh, well, if he's just gonna use the vacuum and then just sort of slam every enemy, like, what's the point? And it looks kind of cheap. But then I think when you're the one actually controlling it, it kind of becomes a whole different feel to it. Because this is fun. And, you know, it's only because it's the first night that I'm, like, live streaming it, but I can see myself just sitting around and just completely taking my time, and that's what's cool about this game. It's like, you know, something like Mario Odyssey, it kind of, it's so good that you like, I wanted to savor it. And so I'd be playing for, like, 3 hours at a time, and then I'd be like, alright, I gotta put this down. and I would put it down so that I didn't just completely like ruin it. But it was so good that it just begged to be slaughtered, and just played for like 8 hours until you saw the whole thing. Whereas this, you can kind of, you know, take your time.
Wow!
So I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do right there.
Whoa! Wow!
That's kind of cool that it just disintegrates them.
Whoa! Huh? What? Oh.
I am a little upset that you can't do the Mario or the Luigi shuffle, like where you just do the flat-footed kind of scuffle and you like glide across the floor. That had like a real great comedic value to it. I feel like a janitor. Thank you.
Wow!
Money tree. Nice. Yeah, I definitely like the amount that like every little nook and cranny has. Like I do think they put in quite a bit of time on this just to make sure that it felt right. Like taking off all the leaves. Like every little thing does something. And that's kind of nice. Luigi's gonna be all scared.
Oh,
And then we're gonna go see Egad. And he's gonna cry. So, you know, the gyro it's good, and you can also turn the sensitivity down for that. So that's a plus. So that's cool, because that's kind of like the way it was really meant to be used. And I mean, it worked alright for the 2DS when I was playing on it. But it's kind of weird at that point, because, you know, the system is the controller, is the TV in your hand. And so at times you kind of forget that the gyro is even an option, and that it's even there.
Huh? What?
Money!
Wow.
That's pretty cool. Money! Money! Alright, you're out of here. Have a good night. Thank you for stopping by. As I said, it's been a while. And it's late, so I didn't really think anybody was going to be stopping by. But there will be more live streams coming in the future. I've been being, well, I've been going through some stuff, so I really haven't been live streaming or doing much. But I hope you have a good night. And yeah, I will see you next time. Hopefully. Which shouldn't hopefully be like 2 more months from now.
Huh? What?
Let's see, we gotta go back up here.
Whoa!
Oh, okay, thank you, Poultry Pup. Forgot about that. This is good. This is a good game. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm looking between 2 monitors here, and I have the brightness on the screen in front of me quite a bit down. And I'm just kind of looking at the differences here.
Wow!
Wow. Hopefully there's some blacklight mechanics. Like, that'd be pretty cool, some secret writing on the wall. Let's see, how do I get this brick down here? I'm guessing that's a for later kind of goodie. Nice touch with the blinking light. I gotta say, I haven't been in the Halloween spirit at all this year. I haven't put up any decorations or anything. Trick-or-treating has been changed to Saturday in my town, which is, they say, due to unforeseen weather. But when I was a kid, it didn't matter if it was freezing and pouring. You just went trick-or-treating. They didn't cancel it. Now it's going to be in November, and at that point, Halloween's already over. And that happened a couple years ago, too, and it kind of ruined the feeling of Halloween. It's like, if they're going to postpone it, then they might as well just change Halloween every year to be the weekend before, the weekend after, so that it falls on, you know, October 28th or 29th or November 4th. And just have it be on the nearest weekend.
Ah. Ah.
Oh.
Help.
Mario. Mario.
Ah.
Uh-oh. Bam! Run for your life! That's cool that he takes his hat off and wipes his sweaty and scared brow. Uh-oh. Damn, this is another level of Luigi Mansion. Like, some people are complaining about the game, but I don't know. I'm digging this more than the original. Like, everything's interactive, and sure, once you've already played it, you've played it, but that kind of goes for all the games. And really, like, any type of puzzle game. Let's see, what was that little thing? It's raining money! Ooh. Silly puppy. I like the polter pup. Oh, whoa. Like, that's a good level of detail with everything shaking there. Let's go ahead and do an instant replay of that. So we'll come right over here. We'll check this out. Ooh. Alright, how... Yeah, all this stuff jumping off the shelves. There's quite a bit of stuff that's moving in this right here. All those binders and stuff, and it's got a realistic move to it. Like, it's a good attention to detail. More so than what I was expecting. As I said, I tried to go into this game as blind as I could, because I knew what it was going to be, and I didn't want it ruined for me. Oh. Cool.
Whoa.
See, and I like that there's little hidden collectibles and per stage bonuses to find little secret rooms and stuff like that. I really like that.
Wow.
I want to know what this key is gonna do. It's on the hook. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I thought I was supposed to suck it up over the hook, if you know what I'm saying. See, and all these rooms are big. They're vast. Like, and I didn't think I could run. I wish the Luigi shuffle from Luigi's Mansion 1 kind of made it back. Money! Get away! This is fun. I mean, I could see back in like 2001, the original Luigi's Mansion feeling this good. And since I didn't play it back then, as I said, I have no nostalgia for it. And I just recently beat it. And have only played it for the first time in the past 6 months. But this to me is feeling like what I imagined the original one would have felt like back in the day, which I can understand why so many people loved it. There's plenty of games that caught my imagination, and it's not like I grew up and I'm just like, oh, okay, the magic of that game's gone now because I'm older. Like, there's still plenty of games that still hold that same charm, even though I've played them 30 times. But so far, I really give it to Nintendo, and I imagine this was a game that they probably wanted to get out like last year, and it really seems like it got held back and had extra time added to it. See, and that's cool that this is probably going to be something for later. I mean, I guess I could have put that pumpkin on it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
You're.
Money! God, this is cool. I'm really digging this. And this is a savor the flavor kind of game. So it's really enjoy at your own pace. And I'm really glad that I bought this. I kind of wish that I had bought it physically. That's a cool added touch with the flashlight silhouette coming through the pumpkin. And then all the pumpkin bits. Man. Let's shoot my own face. Booyah, boy! See, I keep getting distracted. And then I go back over there. But I want to come back over here because I want to finish this room off. There we go. Fireworks in the mail bin. Money, feathers.
Wow!
Yeah, let's see what happens when we pull all the curtains down. surprised there's not like a microtransaction where the vacuum fills up and then, you know, like if EA made this game, you would have to pay to dump out the vacuum. And that would be the only way that you could continue the game. And yeah, I definitely, like I said, I do like this smushed up against the wall feature so that you can actually tell what the layout of the rooms are and it doesn't feel kind of incomplete, like something's missing to it. Money. Yeah, it was good like the second right after you left. How you doing? How's it going? I'm actually really liking this. I didn't buy the original back in the day, and I probably bought my GameCube in I guess it would have been 2002, because that was my first year of high school. And at that point, I had already owned an Xbox, and I wanted a GameCube. Ooh, spooky spider. And one of my friends, he was basically selling his GameCube, and so I bought it. I bought it off him. I want to say I gave him like $1.30, and it came with Wind Waker, Mario Kart 8, or not Mario Kart 8, Double Dash. I think that's where I also got the. It has
Wow.
Mortal Kombat Armageddon. But so yeah, I never played Luigi's Mansion back in the day. I remember seeing it, and I just never played it. So I finally bought it on the 3DS just like maybe 4 or 5 months ago. And then I played it for like several days straight. I was like, I'm just gonna one-shot this and beat it. And I didn't. I put it down, pick it back up like a few weeks later, play for like an hour, you know, go to and from, back through the mansion, save it, put it down, and then finally just the other day, I thought I still had maybe a couple more hours to play through, and I played for probably about an hour and a half, and I beat it. But I have no nostalgia attached to it, so I thought it was good. It was fun. I could see it for what it was. As I was saying here, although this is looking great, the graphics are great, blah, blah, blah. The original for the GameCube had a lot more dust, and when you would use the vacuum, you'd see the dust kind of going into the vacuum, and a lot of those particle effects were like shut off when they did the 3DS remake. And there's like reviews from like IGN and stuff where you see side-by-side comparison between the GameCube and the 3DS, and you could see how much of that they kind of took out of it, and it's enough to alter the game. And I mean, a 3DS is a 3DS, it only looks so good. So even though they redid it and a lot of it was cleaner, and like I was saying earlier, like Luigi has a real defined look to him now. In the original on the GameCube, he still kind of had that, like, I guess his face was chubbier. He wasn't as like lanky, and now his head is kind of more stretched out. And when you see the review and you see the side-by-side from the GameCube and the 3DS version, you can just see how much, like, the little changes that they made to where, you know, same for like Mario 64 and like Galaxy, into like New Super Mario Brothers U, and like Super Mario 3D World, 3D Land. Like, both Mario and Luigi now are completely defined and their character model isn't ever going to change. Like, they've got it down. Even if graphics were more powerful, they would still be the exact same roundness and all that. So, not sure what my point was, but yeah, I have no nostalgia for the original, but I still liked it. And I could, so far I'm having a lot of fun with this, and I could see why people have the nostalgia for the original one, because if I was 12 when I played the original one, I'm guessing I would have been as excited and feel as good as I do playing this now. But this has, you know, the ceilings are higher, there's more rooms. Already it's changed aesthetically more than the entire first game did at all. I mean, it all has kind of the same look. Sure, some of the rooms are kind of laid out a little bit differently. And again, I'd still like to go back and play it on the GameCube just to see, because they did change quite a bit from the remake on the 3DS, like small stuff, but enough to like really change just the look and the feel of the overall game, even if it's just something small, like when you take out the Game Boy and you look at the stuff that's on the walls, the different picture frames and stuff, like they change it enough to make it different. And so after I beat the game, I was like, that was a good game. You know, like I said, no nostalgia attached. I would probably say it was like a 7. Now, Dark Moon was the first I had played at all, but I only really played like maybe 45 minutes or an hour of that game, and I don't really remember it, even though it was only like a year ago. And I bought it with a couple other games, and I thought that my kid would like it. He only played it for like 10 minutes. Like I said, I played it for like an hour one day. And then I kind of was like, well, I want to play the original. And since I bought it in a lot with a couple other games, and that game kind of just came with it, even though I, you know, paid for it in the lot, it was cheap enough, and I just ended up trading it. And so at some point, I'll still go back and probably play New Moon, probably after I beat this. Maybe that would be like a nice middle of winter game to play like in a couple months. But so far, this game is looking great. I have the brightness, I have it down a little bit more than the way it's looking on my TV over here on the stream. But then obviously, however that translates to if you're watching on a laptop, a tablet, your phone, a TV. But I got the brightness down quite a bit here. And so it's actually looking really good. It's really clean, good reflections, good physics. Like I was trying to show, like, did you buy the game? Have you been playing it at all? Oh, he's much more expressive. Like this part right here, I'm like, kind of looking at it, and it's like you see all the stuff in the cubby holes and on the walls, and you see just from doing this little jump here, you know, the amount of detail that actually goes in. Like, I mean, that's more detail than they do in a standard Mario game. Like, everything is a set piece, and aside from coins and, like, the enemies, even in, like, Odyssey, there isn't this level of, like, with the jump, all the binders, all the stuff, it's all falling the way it really would. And the physics of it are just, like, they're really good. I mean, even the rug here, it's kind of crumpled, like, in front of the drawers there. And the way, like, the binders fall down on the left side here, and, like, one kind of falls first. And if you actually look at that one in the back, it's kind of shifts. And then as the rest of the stuff's moving, it's still kind of moving a little bit, and it's moving into the way of that key there. And that's just one little corner. And as I said, like, already this game seems to have more attention to detail than really the entire first game. And this game seems like it's a good 12 hours. And it might even take me more than that, because I just have fun going through, and I take my time. And I've always done that with games. I always dilly-dally and go to every little corner and look at every little thing. And so usually when someone says the game's like 12 hours long, I'll clock in like 18 hours. It's kind of like with Link's Awakening. People say that's like a 8-hour game or like 15 hours, but I still haven't beaten it. I'm at like the very last temple, and I probably put in like 22, 23 hours, and I did a lot of like dilly-dallying, so yeah, hell yeah, I'm gonna get my money's worth out of this game. I mean, I kind of do wish I bought it physically now. Not that I still can't.
Hey-ho. Got it.
And, you know, I went to my GameStop earlier, and the manager that was there for the past, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, he left. See, now this is cool having like that mirror there, because I can sort of see, like, at first I'm like, okay, where's the trash can? And then you kind of realize you have to come over to this side to hit that. Yay!
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Ha.
But in the original, when you held B and you moved, he kind of did that like cartoony flat foot shuffle, and you could like shuffle like backwards through like a door. And I mean, you can still move backwards, but he's like, you know, kind of going goofy footed. And I like that, you know, you hold the stick, and then he starts to run. So I was trying to figure that out before, like if he could actually do a sprint of any sort. And it's like I was trying to show earlier, like the gyro works, because, you know, I played the remake on the 3DS, and it's, you kind of forget that it's like the system is the controller, is the TV. So there's a lot of times where I completely forgot about the gyro. And so the feeling on the Pro Controller is like, it feels good. And there's people complaining about like that slam move there, and how, you know, it's not like the original, and you know, it's like cheap, but it's like maybe it looks that way, but kind of in your hand it doesn't really feel cheap.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I've already noticed so much. Yeah, I definitely am feeling the rumble here. Like, there's been a few games recently that I noticed. It's like they say they have rumble, and then it's almost like there is no rumble. Like, I'm playing The Witcher 3, and in the options, you can turn the rumble on and off. And it says it, like, rumble on and off. And I don't notice any rumble in that game, like during combat or like riding the horse. So I don't know what's up with that. And here there's like, maybe it's better in handheld with the Joy-Con, but like I feel slight vibration like when I grabbed that bill. And when the coin fell on the floor, it vibrates a little, but like this, you don't feel anything. Maybe if I do the, yeah, when you do that, you feel it pretty good. And it's cool because it's more pronounced for the blast. And then when he lands on his feet, it's like a light tap. So it's cool that, you know, some, I guess Nintendo mainly, they still use it with that in mind. But yeah, I mean, I'm having probably as much fun as I would if I was 12 and had just bought a GameCube with Luigi's Mansion, the original. Except this just looks better, there's more diversity, it's like smoother. And it just overall seems like it's gonna be a really fun time. Like, I really look forward to, you know, I tried not to watch too many, like, spoilers or anything. I saw some reviews coming out a couple days ago, and I'd kind of just listen to them because I didn't want to see the game. And they'd be like, oh, it's spoiler-free. And even, like, earlier today before I started playing it, there was a review that I started to listen to. And he's like, oh, this is only from, like, the first, like, hour and a half. And then he started talking about the, you know, the plot and how, like, when you first get there, like, what happens, and then the next thing that happens. And I just shut it off because I was like, I'm going to be playing it at midnight tonight. And, I mean, this is one of those types of games. It's, like I was saying earlier, it's like, you know, if you plan on playing it, and I mean, this game is going to be long enough, so it's not really like I'm ruining it for you, but it's kind of like, I guess kind of hypocritical a little bit, because, you know, I saw some people streaming it earlier, and I kind of just turned it on for a minute and kind of just listened to it, like I wasn't really trying to watch it, because I'm like, I'm going to be playing it in a few hours. So this to me is like not even like a good streaming game, unless you just had no interest in buying it. But I had already pre-loaded it and all that, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be playing this as soon as it's available. And it's not like a crazy game or anything, but it's like, you know, you only get to enjoy it fresh as an experience like once, even though I'm sure in a few years I'd probably go back and play this after not playing it for years. And it might feel new again, especially like the beginning of the game. Really, you have no interest? Well, I mean, did you beat the original? Because you said you played it, and then I'm guessing you probably didn't play Dark Moon. So I'm gonna go back and play that. Hey, that's a good idea too. I mean, that's only 2 weeks away. I'm getting it. My kid's birthday is right after that, so he wants it. And I figure I'm gonna buy it, play it, put all the hours into it, beat it, and then like he can have it. But my girl and him, they were kind of debating on which one to get. And they were like, they want Shield, but I want Sword. But I'm like, hey, that works perfect because we can get both and then hopefully get all the Pokemon together. You know, hey, I don't know if you saw, but like, if you go to the eShop, did you see like the whole Steelbook thing? Because it's kind of strange, like I don't know how it's gonna work across the board. Like, I think it was Game Explain, and they had a video earlier, and it's kind of like, you know, if you go in here and you go to the eShop, you can buy the game digital, and like Nintendo will send you a Steelbook, but only if you pre-order it, and it's one Steelbook per Nintendo account. And like they've never, you know, they've never done anything like that. And I was kind of looking at it earlier because when like Game Explain or whatever, they did their video and they were talking about it, and there was like 4 or 5 different ones of these, but here I am, you know, US, and then it says Maybe it's not in here. Is it only for UK? Because I thought I saw, like, after that, I was like, okay, how is that going to work? And then I thought it was in the news. So let's see. I guess it will say UK at the bottom. Because I started thinking about that, and I was like, we'll see. Yeah, this news is distributed for America. Okay, so I guess it was this one that I was looking at then. Because that's a cool steelbook. But it'd be kind of weird to get that, you know, free shipping from Nintendo. But it says... See, it's weird that it says up here, you can't use the voucher, or you can use the voucher, and then it says... Wait, this one's different. So that's Europe. I must have read the other one that would have been, I think, for Australia. Because I have, like, an Australian account, too. But yeah, see, it's weird how they keep doing that kind of stuff and kind of, like, screwing us over. Because what'll probably happen for America is kind of like with, like, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, like... You know, I bought the game when it came out, but I didn't. I kind of just played it. I put the 40 or 50 hours in. I beat it, and then I sold it along with like the Pokeball. And then I was at a Best Buy, like months later, and I saw for $40. I thought it was Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, and it was just the Steelbook. And it was. Well, actually, I think it was 30. I think it was on clearance. It had like a thing marked down. And I was like, there's no way that game is marked down right now. And I kind of looked at it, and it was just the case wrapped up. And I was like, if this is like 40 bucks, and the regular game is 60, and this is the steel case. But then I like pulled out my phone, and I was like, oh, it's just the blank steel case. So that's probably what's going to happen to us is like, you know, we buy the game, get nothing, and then everyone else buys the game, and it's basically like, well, aside from, I guess, Canada and Australia, it ends up being like cheaper for them, and then they get the steelbook too, and then for us, it's like, well, America's so rich, you know, because it's kind of weird that they like base it on that. It's like, well, America's economy's doing better, so like all our games are more expensive. And then, you know, since I have all, like, I have, like, the European account and the Australian account. And then in the news there, I'm getting all this different news for the different regions. And occasionally I'll see, like, a sale for a certain developer. And then it shows all these games. And then you go into the eShop. And then you're like, oh, like, all these good games are, like... 25% off to like 50% off, even some like $60 games, but they only do that for like Europe. That never happens for the United States, and we kind of always get kind of screwed on that. Yeah, that's what I figure. And then what'll happen is you end up like buying Sword and or Shield separately or whatever, digitally, or even in a double pack. And then down the road, the same steelbooks that they're like giving away to other people for free, shipping free on the house, they get that. And then down the road, you'll see at like Best Buy or Target, like the $40 blank steelbook that you can choose to buy that didn't come with your game. And by you buying that steelbook, it basically afforded like Europe to get a free one that was shipped to them for free also. And it's kind of like, you know, Link's Awakening, like they got that super cool Game Boy case, and it's like, I don't even own any special editions for like any game. Like, literally, like, I've been going through and buying, like, the newest games and stuff, and then I try to basically just play them and enjoy them and move them on because I can still buy these games back. But it's like I just traded off and sold, like, Astral Chain and Super Smash Brothers, which I'll have to get back again, as well as, like, Fire Emblem, Three Houses, which I didn't end up finishing that like I had wanted to. Alright, I'm not sure what I'm even doing here. Been dealing with this for like 10 minutes. Kind of zoned out and got on a rant there.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah, definitely move to Europe. And then once you get there, they'll be giving out free steelbooks to America. But it's like, I hate that. You know, one game is one thing, another game is another, and then when it's just like time and time again, it's like, I know it's going to be the same kind of thing when like Animal Crossing comes out, and it's like there'll be like a cool steelbook, or like, same for like Link's Awakening, like maybe like an art book, or like a better, cooler like case or something like that that you can only get from there. And it's like, you know, if you're spending $60 already, it's kind of like whatever. But then when you have to import it, then like you're paying extra, and then it's like extra shipping and extra time, and it just, you know, it's not cool. It's like, I swear they do it because they know people that want it are gonna buy it. They're gonna pay the extra and just import it. So it's not like it's rare or anything. But unless enough people from, you know, like America buy enough of them that you see them used or at conventions and stuff like that, you know, there's like a feeling at that point where it's like, oh, I gotta get it because it's kind of rare, and then it just kind of ups the amount that people are willing to pay for it just because they didn't offer it to us in the first place. It's like, can't you just kind of, I mean, if you're gonna make steelbooks and give them away with the purchase of the game digitally for $50 over in Europe or whatever, and it's like we're paying $60, and then the double pack, and then I don't know. I'm kind of still I mean, I think Pokemon Sword and Shield are going to be good, but there's a lot of stuff that they haven't really like mentioned about the game. And while it's not like super awkward because things have been like leaked and kind of ruined before, and people have been, you know, pissed off about it, it is kind of weird that we're so close to the game and there's still a lot of things that haven't been mentioned or shown. And I mean, I kind of would like it to be that way, to just not hear anything else and then to have the game come out. But it is, I thought it was kind of weird when I saw the Steelbook thing where it's like, you know, they really want people to like buy this thing now. And, you know, or they're doing like the double pack, like digital for like cheaper. And then the same, you know, the thing with the steel case. And it's like, man, they want people to buy this like now. That way they can get their money. And it just makes you wonder, like, what's wrong with the game? Is there, you know, is there parts of it that are just broken? And is there something they're just kind of hiding? Because there was, you know, 2 weeks ago when several different channels got to play like the first hour and then basically like do their own write-up on the thing. And I thought that felt kind of weird, where it's like, the game's coming out, we're not going to give you a direct, but we did let X amount of people play it, and, well, you can't say anything about the new Pokemon, or anything past a certain point, or anything about the plot, but you go ahead and do a write-up,
Wow.
and kind of like explain it to the people that want their info. Meanwhile, there still hasn't been like a direct, and I don't think there's gonna be a direct. I think it's kind of too late, unless it's like the day before and they just say, hey, these are the evolutions for like the starters. I don't know what I'm doing right here. I gotta hit that button. Max, what are you doing? No growling. Max. Oh, did you see the, I don't know, GameSpot, Game Explain, where it was like they did the first town tour? And I was like, oh, a tour, like they got to play it. The video was only like 3 minutes long. I thought they were gonna kind of just like walk through and like just narrate it, but it was just like a minute of the character walking through the town. It seemed exactly the same from the trailer. And I'm guessing it's like the first town or whatever, you know, by like the lake and stuff like that, and it looked great, but it still just had that same like barren kind of feel to it, where it seemed like the trailer, because in the initial trailer, the first direct, the like 7-minute direct that we got, it's like everything looked good, and then they showed that like snowy town with, you know, kind of the camera going like up overhead as they're going through like the snowy mountain way, and then it showed kind of a part of like the next town in the middle of the city, and everything looked good, but there was like nothing in it. And then it showed that like the mining cave with the tracks, and it all looked good. It just didn't seem like with like this game here, like it'd be like if all these tables and chairs were kind of like pulled out and there was just walls, and it looked nice, but it was barren, and it just didn't seem like there was a few people kind of standing around. And you would think by now that it would be maybe just, I don't know, one NPC that doesn't talk to you but is doing more than just kind of standing there with their hand on their hip, kind of shaking their head, where maybe they're, I don't know, like pretend practicing with their Pokemon like next to the field or something like that.
Wow.
What if they
Whoa.
connect to that gem and have 2 regions? I don't know what I'm doing. I've been ranting and raving about Pokemon, and I'm still stuck in this room.
Wow. Wow.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do. There's that button up there, and I gotta hit that. If you haven't played Pokemon, like I played the original, and then that was pretty much it. Like my kid had X, and I think he's got Alpha Sapphire, or
Wow. Whoa.
yeah, I think it's that fire. I just fell out of Pokemon. it was like the first game was great, and then Yellow came out, and I played it, and that was great, and then I played Pokemon Snap. And we were just kind of over Pokemon. And then I played like the second gen for a few hours on my laptop, like years later, probably like in like 2008. And I was like, oh man, I kind of wish, you know, I had at least sort of kept up with it. That was the problem. It was kind of like, after so long, even now I've started getting back into like Pokemon cards, and my kid likes Pokemon, and, you know, basically my girl, she plays Pokemon X for him. And I guess at this point, he probably knows more Pokemon than me. There's a lot of them I just look at it and I'm like, whatever that one is called. Hey, cool guy, 18,000. What do you mean, for which? You're talking about Pokemon Sword and Shield's region look close to Kalos? I thought you said it would be cool if Pokemon Sword and Shield had, like, their own regions. Whoa, what the hell is going on? Oh, that's... Oh, okay. I didn't know holding in the light button did something else. There we go. Score Bunny. All I can think of is that clip of Etika just screaming, "Score Bunny, Score Bunny." That's why I would probably pick him. But it's like me and my girl were talking about. Ah, if it isn't you, Luigi, you are precisely the last person I'd expect to find here. Well, it's like I said, if me and my girl were talking, I was like, you know, back in the day, you picked Charmander because he turned into Charizard, or any other Pokemon that transforms into something. And currently at the moment, like, she was like, oh, didn't they, she's like, oh, they revealed like the Pokedex, and I was like, no, they didn't. And she's like, yeah, they did. And she like pulls out her phone, it's like a list of the Pokemon that have been confirmed to be in the game from all the trailers. And I was like, that's not the same as, you know. So I was like, you could pick the bunny, and then you don't know what the thing turns into yet, because we still don't know. And they might just say what they turn into, like, you know, the night before it releases, which I'd be cool with that. I'd also be cool with them just not even saying anything. And it's like, you have to figure it out yourself. Like, I think that's the way it should be. That's kind of the way I saw, like, this game, or like even Animal Crossing, which is a different kind of game. So they're gonna have a direct on it, and because it shows more footage, I'll watch it. But it's like, really, I don't need to know anything more about it. I just want to play it. It's not like a big, vast depth. Like, really, all Nintendo's games could just be shown, like, you know, the little 3-minute trailer that they put out, and then the game could just come out. But now it's like they do like the initial like unveiling of it, like, you know, hey, Luigi's Mansion is coming out. We're working on it. Hey, Metroid Prime 4 we're working on it. Hey, the new Pokemon game, we're working on it. Hey, Breath of the Wild 2, like, we're working on it. And then if it gets pushed back, it's like, oh damn. It was like the same with like Yoshi and like Fire Emblem Three Houses. And then it's another 3 months before we see something about it. And it's only like that 2 or 3 minute thing. And then you gotta wait another 5 months to get like the 7-minute chunk of it. And then it's like, it's to the point where it's like taking 10 months for the game to come out, but pretty much a year from the time that they actually say like, hey, we're working on it, to the time we actually, or, well, for some of the games like Yoshi or like Fire Emblem, that ended up being a year and a half before like the game actually came out. And then with Animal Crossing being pushed back, it's like about a year from the time they actually, well, over a year. It's like a year and a half from the time that they first showed the direct with Tom Nook saying like there's going to be a new game to the time it actually comes out. And it's like, man, can't they just give us 3 months? Just say that like Pokemon's coming out and you know that's coming out in November, and then say that direct that they had wasn't back in, what was it, June or July, and instead they just did it in August or September, and then 2-3 months later the game comes out, instead of it being this 9 or 10 month for most games, and then for like Animal Crossing and like Luigi's Mansion, it was like longer than that. It's like over a year from the time you know that the game's coming out to the time that it actually comes out. I mean, it is all part of marketing. And I would think with the fast-paced world that like we're living in now, that it would kind of be like not as drawn out, I guess. Because everything now is like quick. And obviously you can't make good games that quick, so it kind of needs that time. But it's like, at least for like, you know, Daemon X Machina or like Octopath Traveler, like those are, you know, made by other folks, and at least they give you like, they show it, and then it kind of goes quiet for a minute, and then you got like a demo, and those demos were, you know, played, and then like they actually took the feedback and improved on it, and then the game came out. This hotel is filled to the brim with ghosts.
No.
Let's make a run for it.
Mario.
No. What was that? All of your friends have been captured. That's hilarious.
No, Mario. No, Mario. No, Mario.
It does keep the suspense exciting.
Mario. No, Mario.
It's like maybe my favorite part of the game right now.
Mario.
I'm glad that I saved this clip.
No, Mario.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. I don't know if I like the way Egad looks here. He's kind of looking like Jimmy Neutron. Kind of like you can't really see his eyes, and then he's got like the weird cheeks and the teeth. Yeah, Jimmy Neutron. What was his friend? Well, the two friends. I actually used to watch that show. I thought it was so stupid, and then, I don't know, one day I watched like an episode, and it was like, it sort of sucked me in with its dumbness. Not one of my favorite shows from back then, but it was, yeah, it was pretty good. First things first, Luigi, we have to get to my car. You took that out of my car, right? Oh yeah, we did. Gotta get back to the underground garage. No, Mario.
Oh, wow.
Luigi, that isn't where we need to be right now. Our business is in the garage. Look at that face he's making. That's just overdoing it, I think.
노지 비가기. 의? 오문가?
Right, Carl is the fat one, and Sheen is the skinny head or whatever. I almost forget what he looks like. See, I'm wondering how many floors this mansion actually has. That was one thing I wanted to know, but I didn't bother looking up to see if someone had like written something about it. See, I feel like I feel like more detail was put into this than a lot of first-party Nintendo games. Like, 'cause, I mean, this is published by Nintendo, but it's made by Next Level.
Uyama, Luigi, Sike, Sike.
Like, some people were saying, you know, this is like the best looking Nintendo Switch game. And it's definitely one of the best looking games, yeah.
Wow.
Luigi.
Like, even just like, you know, the font box and even the font being slightly different. Like, I don't know if you guys played like Mario Maker 2 and just the general like mission mode. It's like they go with the most plain like rectangle with completely just bland text and like no borders, like no character to like anything like that. And then same for like the menus. And it's like, you know, it's small stuff like that that kind of makes the game go up another level. Yeah, the sound is pretty good. And, you know, the controls feel good. It just, yeah, everything about this is checking out so far. Let's see, that's like 15 floors right there. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Yeah.
Luigi. Oui.
$16 floors in a basement, and probably like a secret 13th floor somewhere in between. So I'm actually really like pumped up because, like I said, the original, it's like you go down, you end up going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth a million times, and then at the end of the hallway you kind of unlock the next room. And even though they were in more of a random order, it wasn't just like one hallway and then you unlock the first door, then go back to the start, then come back down past that first room, and then unlock the second door and do it all over. Like, they were kind of random.
Veggie, Sike, Sike, Suku, Suku.
Oh, so we gotta collect elevator buttons. See, I feel like they did a really good job on this so far. Like, I gotta give first or next level games like a lot of credit. So I feel like if Nintendo did this, I mean, they had mirrors and stuff in the first one, and granted it's like old and it just looked choppy, but I feel like even now they wouldn't quite put in the effort. You were trying to enter a contest to try to win Luigi's Mansion? Why? Who gave it away? Okay, let's see. Where am I going?
Mario. Mario. Oh, Mario. Oh, Mario. Oh, Mario.
So the D-pad just does this.
Mario.
Wait, up on the D-pad doesn't do anything.
Mario.
Down, left, and right
Mario.
on the D-pad
Mario.
do the
Mario. Mario.
Yeah, I swear, Gleam always just feels like such a scam. Well, actually, I guess I can't say that's not true. I did win. I won something, and it's coming in the mail probably in the next 3 weeks, maybe. But that was because I was in a live stream. There was only like 21 people that entered, and it was like, hey, we're making the Gleam link, and you have like 5 minutes to enter, and then we're pulling it. And I secretly entered twice. Whoa. But I've never won on Gleam. Besides that, I did win on Gleam. But usually for like a giveaway, it's like, you know, some people will do like a instant giveaway, like in their live stream. It's like, hey, at the end we'll give it away. And obviously, depending on the channel, you don't, you know, there could be like 100 people in the stream. It could be like 400 people, or it could be like 50. I've seen like smaller channels give away like a $60 game, even though there's only like, you know, 15 people in the chat. But usually it's like a, hey, we're gonna be giving this game away, and we'll let you know in the next like 2 weeks. And by that point, you've had, you know, thousands of entries in, and it's almost like, it seems like you could pull any name for the winner, and then a lot of people won't even get back to it. So you could sit there and pull and pull and pull, and it's like, it can just be annoying on both ends. Like, as the person trying to give something away, it's like, you could pull a new name every day for like a month, and be trying to like email people and like try to find like their Twitter and seeing if it's actually active or not, and trying to send like inbox messages and then not hear anything back for like a week. Like, I did one Gleam giveaway, and there was like 4 different people, and I kind of had to keep pulling them. And then after like 2 weeks, the first person hit me back up and was like, you know, you need my info. At that point, I was like, it's kind of too late now, sorry. Like, I guess that slam move, you know, I guess, I don't know if it looks cheap to everybody. Okay, I think on him. I mean, I guess I hope, I would think with this game, like, I don't think any of the moves are going to ramp up or change at all. Like, it pretty much seems like the mechanics that you have are the mechanics that you have. And I guess that's the only one thing that, even though I haven't played the game, I can probably say is mostly true, or actually almost 100% true, that none of the mechanics, that there's not going to be any progression or any new systems added other than like Luigi. But I feel like a game like this could really benefit from like a few extra new mechanics, and like maybe like a small skill tree of some sort. Because, I mean, this is sort of like a puzzle horror game. Like, it'd be cool if you could just not, like, upgrade anything and have the game be harder naturally. Like, if there was more mechanics to the game, to where it could be more of a struggle, or to where you could, like, power up. Like, I think that'd be a good idea for another game. Well, that's what I mean. Those are like, you know, I guess gimmicks or whatever. I meant like, you know, with like the slam move, if there was like, the slam move was like really just basic and ineffective, and then you run into like electric ghosts and you have to something with like electricity, as opposed to the slam is there, the suck is there, the flashlight's there. And it's like, yeah, those are the mechanics of the game, and then the world changes around it. But I guess it'd be cool if there was, you know, like power-ups. Maybe not really a skill tree, but like just some new mechanics kind of added or something, along with the changing of the environments. Don't touch. See, poor Luigi, he always gets to be just like, everyone's just like, I'm better than you, Luigi. What's this gonna turn into? Wow, I wasn't expecting that. Huh.
Wow. Oh.
That's cool.
Wow.
It took me a second to realize that this was going to be his Papa Hut. That's kind of cool. I guess his lab will change different spots, and it's just like a pop-up tent. Yeah, portable laboratory. That's a good idea. See, that's better than being sent to the front door of the mansion, like every time you save, and coming back into the game and being like, I'm not exactly sure what the last thing I did was. Let me walk around for 15 or 20 minutes before I actually figure out what the hell I was doing. You want to know what I'm doing in this hotel? It's a bit of a long story, but in short, I was tricked. Siki Siki Suka Suka. Got an invitation from someone calling me home this hotel. They said they had pass up on such an appealing offer, obviously. I accepted their invitation. When I arrived, the invitation was only a ruse. Captured me, took my precious ghost selection. That includes all the ghosts you worked so hard to catch for me before. Even King Boo. Losing them got under my skin. He's my favorite. He's my favorite Pokemon card. Didn't he just say even King Boo got released? Like, that's a shame. And then he's like, what? King Boo got released? She let him out? I thought that's what he just said. You're our only hope, against all odds, without any hesitation and at any cost. Get my ghost collection back. Sike Sike Suka Suka. And speaking of ghost collections, why don't you give me all the ghosts you've captured so far? I don't think I've captured any except for just the regulars. Alright, keep on catching those ghosts. Oh, and be sure to come back to the lab. I'll set up the gallery so that you can view the ghosts that you've captured.
Wow.
Wow. Sige, sige, suga, suga. What's with that look, Luigi? Am I forgetting something important?
やぼやぼ
See, I could have swore before you could, like, see his eyes behind the glasses, but it's like, he doesn't really have eyes, I guess. I think for EGAD, I liked the jagged look of him, like, on, like, the 3DS. And I don't really like the way that he looks here. That's one of my only complaints so far. Forgot about saving your friends and family completely and totally forgot. Regardless, to find ghosts and your friends, we'll need to explore this hotel. To help you out, I'll give you one of my greatest inventions yet.
やぼやぼ
Yes! I think they showed that in a, like a trailer, right?
Haha. Got it.
I have a Virtual Boy. I gotta get that thing back from my mom's house. It's a state-of-the-art virtual reality device. Fitted with a fancy red screen. Really cutting-edge stuff. And red is all the rage, you know?
Oh.
See, I feel like after seeing that, I'm like, wait a minute, did I remember seeing that? But I think I did, but I'm not actually sure. Because my reaction was, oh, that's wicked cool. So, yeah, I gotta get mine back. It was like, my mom bought one for me and my brother, and they were both on clearance for like, I think 30 bucks each. It still has the sticker on it. It's from a KB Toys. And that must have been 1996, 97. And I wish we had like gone back and got a bunch of games, because I only had, the only games that I have for it is Mario's Tennis and Wario Land. And my brother had, I think, Mario's Tennis because it came with it, and then Tellero Boxer. But I thought he had another one or two. And then at one point, I think he sold his. Oh, do they have that on the? I've never even used an Oculus. Like, I've never played VR other than Labo VR. And I thought the whole motion sickness thing was BS, because I get motion sick. Like, depending. Sometimes, even from like a 5-minute car ride, I'll get sick. Sometimes I won't. Sometimes sitting in the back seat for like hours doesn't bother me. Sometimes even when I'm the one driving and it's like a 10-minute car ride, I'll be like, ugh, and it kind of, you know. See, and I when I was a kid, I never got like a headache from that thing. But I guess I was like, I'd kind of laugh about like the warning of it, but I'd still only really play the thing for like 20 minutes at a time. It wasn't something you'd sit there and play for like 6 hours straight, because it wasn't really that compelling. Other than Mario or Wario Land. Like, that's a good game.
すくすくウィンソース
Yeah, the Virtual Boy's great. And mine is like, I kept the box with it, I kept the cardboard with it. The thing is in like brand new condition until the last time I actually plugged it in. I remembered that one of the eyes went out on it, and I was like, how could that be? Because it always stayed in the box. When I wanted to play it, I'd take it out of the box, take it out of the cardboard, play it for like an hour, and then I would put it all back in the cardboard and put it back in the box, and the box would go in the closet. So I don't know if that was just like a fluke, but I think it got like just burnt out from not using it, or it just being made the way that it is.
ゲーム声発砲ゲーム2すくすく
But it's weird because I got motion sick as a kid, but that thing never made me sick. And then playing Labo VR, that thing made me feel like, not like I was gonna puke, it just made me like this weird, that VR nausea that you get.
おいどろ
Because I was in this room like using it, and I was like bumping into the walls and stuff. Doing like the underwater like camera thing. And then when I played Breath of the Wild in VR, I could only... I only actually played that for maybe like probably about 5 minutes. I did the Mario Odyssey VR for maybe 10, but that was a little better because it was like still, and then you just ran around with Mario. And then I tried to do the blaster game, and after like one level of that, and then when you pull it away from your face, that's when you get that like VR feeling. I don't know, I didn't believe it was a thing until I actually felt it. Oh, and I have one more thing to give you. The very first thing you need to do is install this elevator tracker inside the elevator for me.
Nice.
We were just in the elevator, why didn't you do it? Wario just gets like forgotten about. I mean, I've never played WarioWare. I played like one demo for it on the DS, and that was just like 3 days ago. And I was like, oh, that's cool. It's like wacky and it's fast, but it's like, you know, I have like Wario Land 3 for the Game Boy, and then the first Wario Land on the Virtual Boy. And it's like, those are good games. I guess they don't really outdo the traditional 2D Marios, but now like there's Mario Maker and New Super Mario Brothers, but those are like, even Mario Maker, those are in the old school styles. It's not like the Game Boy style, which is something, if Nintendo came out with like a old school looking Game Boy style of 2D platformer that was on like the eShop for $20, even like $30, like if it was good, it would be good and people would buy it. And I would love that. I'd love to have like a, you know, it's kind of like getting like Link's Awakening remake. It'd be like if we got a black and white 2D top-down Zelda game that wasn't like the 3DS game, like A Link Between Worlds, but was something like the original Link's Awakening made today, not in color, or maybe a little bit of color, or maybe like the option to like palette swap, kind of like the Super Game Boy or the Game Boy Color. I mean, for $20, it's like you could hire like a few people at Nintendo and do like an indie style Game Boy game that's not for the Game Boy, and then sell it for like $20. Did you ever see that, the Breath of the Wild remake? I forget if that was on the... Someone like did that, and I thought it was like 16-bit. Or maybe it was 8-bit, like NES. See, and I can't even think of what Wario games were on GameCube. Yeah, you can't be official. As for what it is, I'll tell you later. Go on and get it installed. Head for the elevator. I'm counting on you. By the way, Luigi, how much money have you collected so far? Hope you'll be able to line your pockets while we're here. Cause I can't think of, like, it's weird, I had a GameCube, but I didn't really play much GameCube. Like, I kind of played Wind Waker and, like, Soul Calibur, and even, like, I never even got rid of the thing. I just sort of didn't buy that many games for it. See, I forget, isn't there a... I thought there was an actual, like, Wario, like, platformer that was on the GameCube. And I know, like, I think the last Wario game that came out was... Well, Wario Shake It. WarioWare Shake It for the Wii. I used to get stoned, too. All minute of every day, of every second. And the last time I smoked was like over a year ago, and it was 2 days in a row. The first day I drank several beers and I felt great. And the next day I drank like a beer and then smoked like an hour later. And it was the same stuff with the same, like, my cousin. We had like a barbecue and did like the same like hangout like 2 days in a row. And the second night, my heart was just slamming and I was just like, I need to take a shower. And that was a year ago, over a year. And even someone earlier asked me like, they're like, oh, you smoke anymore? And I was like, I haven't smoked since like July of like last summer. It's funny, I actually found a baggie on the ground today. There was cops down the street from my house, and they pulled someone over, and I kind of walked by them, and one of the dudes was like undercover, and I heard him say like, oh, the kid, he like ran down to the bottom of the hill, and then he turned like left. And literally like right before that, I was coming like down the hill from like right outside of my house, and I see this like tied up baggie on the ground, and I picked it up, and there's like, it wasn't much, it's like all dust, but it's like probably like a fat bowl's worth. And I was like, hey, that's cool to have around, and it was free. I found it. By the way, Luigi, how much money have you collected so far? I hope you'll be able to line your pockets while we're here. Hey, 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 hey. I feel like I need it. But I just don't bother. And it's like, it gives me like anxiety. But it's only because I used to like hang out with people and stuff. And now I'm older and I kind of just play video games all alone. And I don't have any friends. Yeah, that's what I thought. See, he told me to go to the elevator. See, so that's cool, because that actually looks like the, you know, those colors are pretty representative of the Virtual Boy, except for like these edges here. A, and that equals zoom. Where did it go? Zelda Master 2. Hey bud, play the first one. I would if I had it on GameCube, but I didn't play it back in the day. I just beat it for the first time like 3 to 4 days ago. I used to just smoke whatever. I actually have this funny story. There's like, I don't know, this is probably like 10 years ago. Doesn't feel like it, feels like 3, but time flies. I can't believe I'm 32. I could have swore I was just like 18 like a year or 2 ago. But that's not how it works. So yeah, time flies, and down the street in the middle of town there's a Dunkin' Donuts and a McDonald's right next to each other. And one day I'm just like walking and I pass the McDonald's and I'm like on this tiny little sidewalk where the drive-through from the McDonald's dumps out, and there's like a 2-foot piece of like sidewalk before the parking lot of the Dunkin' Donuts. And like right as I was there, there's like 2 cars at the red light, and then this Jeep Cherokee is just going like 30, and the 2 cars are stopped waiting for the red light. And this Jeep Cherokee just smashes the back windshield out of this like Subaru. And like I said, he was doing like 30 just straight into the back of this car. The hatchback like window of the Subaru like exploded, and then that car like hit into the other car in front of it. And in the Jeep, the dude's like starting to back up. He looks like he's like 17, 18. He kind of looks over at me like, what'd you do? And I'm just like looking at him like, damn. And he starts to like back up. And then I hear this woman screaming, I'm pregnant, I'm pregnant. And I go like running over to the car. And this woman's pregnant, she's freaking out. And she's like trying to take her seatbelt off. And I'm like, I did a good job of calming her down. I was like, relax, the cops are on the way, don't move. You're good, right? You're not bleeding. Like, you had your seatbelt on, that's a good thing. Your baby's gonna be fine. Paramedics are coming. And then the kid's like backing up, and he kind of goes like, come here, come here. And he has this like jar just full of bud, like you know, it was a good sized glass jar, like a mason jar. And he kind of holds it like right under the window, and he's like, can you take this from me? And I just was like, yeah. And then like the cop showed up and everything. That day was like the lottery, because I just got that for free, and it was probably like, I don't know, it was probably like 10 or 12 grams worth. Like, it was a lot shoved into this jar. And the next like 3 days were great. You don't have the GameCube in the game. You can buy it again and put it. That's true. I mean, even what about, you got a 3DS, 2DS? Because even still, the remake for 3DS, it's still $40. I bought it when it was on sale. Like a couple months ago, it was on sale for like $22 or something like that. And I already had like, I don't know, 13 or something like that. So I put like 10 toward it. And I was like, hey, I never played Luigi's Mansion before. So, but I think, I mean, unless you can find it somewhere, or you know someone that has it or used, it's like, I think a copy of the GameCube game still goes for like $50, $60. Why don't you take those elevator buttons you collected and put them into the panel? Mario.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Yeah, I counted like 19 or 17. Like, I guess it's gonna be basement 1 through 15. And then, like I said, maybe there's probably like a secret floor. And I'm sure some of them are probably like smaller than others. And then there was also that screenshot in like the trailer or whatever, where there's that like, I don't know, it kind of looks like it's made out of stone, and it's kind of like in the back you can see like the mountains kind of far off in the distance, and it's like this like sort of like concrete like patio looking like porch, sort of like overlook nest or like crow's nest looking thing. And it didn't seem like there was really anything in it other than like a table, like it's like a from A to B walkthrough. But I don't know if that's like up at the top of the hotel. But I'm hoping that the trailers didn't show too much of this game, and that on all these floors there's like really a lot of surprises. So basement 1. But then the one's up here, so what is the other blank one down at the bottom left? Is that basement 2? Because that's basically 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. So I mean, I'm like in the basement right now, so maybe like floor 1 and like 2 are kind of like similar to each other, but I'm wondering when it's gonna really get like super crazy and a lot different looking. If you open the map from the VB menu, you can check out an even more detailed map. Don't go forgetting about it. Let me break it down for you, Luigi. The map is super helpful for exploring new floors. While you're exploring the hotel, you should hunt down the elevator buttons. Those buttons will let you reach new floors. Right floor exploration Oh, and you might find your friends there. Hey, hey. One more thing before you go, Luigi. We need to do a quick test of the Virtual Boy's communication system. Open the VB with plus and select the EGAD hotline. See, I still wish we had the Virtual Boo, or whatever it's called. Oh, that's right. I forgot about the suction cups. So see, that's one new mechanic added. I thought he said the minus button. Oh, here we go. See, so that's cool. So, like, yeah, I'm definitely liking the transformative nature of this hotel becoming sun, because when you first put the game in and you hit start, the title screen is like so not creepy, not mansion-y, not Luigi, not Mario. It's like this plain, boring, sunny day looking thing. And so now we're getting this. So this is really cool. It's like changed, because before when you hit like start or minus, the menu was just like the controls and then like the options. Testing, testing, 1, 2, this is EGAD. Resident Genius. Am I coming through loud and clear? And that's funny that he looks like the Game Boy camera on the Virtual Boy. That's pretty cool. Like, I think it kind of showcases everything about the Virtual Boy, from like the lines to like the Luigi looking thing. You can buy on internet. Yeah, 40 bucks. And that's probably from like eBay with like probably disc only. Or it's like showing you like a new copy, like a stock photo. And when you get it, it's like just the disc in a baggie. And there's like dust and like jelly like smeared on the disc. Fantastic. It appears that the VB's communication system is working perfectly. That means you can use this to contact me anytime you need to. Suka. If you feel the need to talk to me, just do exactly what you did for the test, Luigi. Maybe I may be able to offer some advice in a tough situation. Oh, you can also check out the log using the very same system. Let me know if that's why you're calling, and you'll be able to see your progress. Okay, testing my inventions is fun, but we should get back to work. And speaking of work, I have a job for you, so you're able to take the elevator. Oh, okay. So we're not, we're going to be skipping around here. So I wonder when it comes to floor 13, if it's just going to kind of skip from 10 to, or 11 to 13, or 12 to 14, if there's going to be that like missing on the elevator like panel select, and maybe get an extra floor out of it, because there's like a floor 13 that's just completely unlisted and is somehow hidden off of like, I don't know if this mansion has like a stairwell. Probably. I was actually staying in a room on that floor. There's a briefcase in my room. Could you fetch it for me? Oh, blast, what was it? Yeah, you've got a map. You'll figure it out. Good luck, Luigi. Try to come back alive. Hehe. So it's funny. He gets to hang out in his pop-up laboratory tent. And then he sends me on the mission. Like, hey, can you go to floor 5? And like, I forget where it actually is, but it's like one of the rooms, and my suitcase is up there. See, like, that's a cool touch, like the elevator doors with the light kind of peeking through, even though it's on a mirror. Like, I swear, if this was just a first-party Nintendo game, it wouldn't have that. Like, the elevator, you wouldn't actually like walk into it. It'd be like your typical, you walk into it and then it just goes to the panel select, and there would be no rain in the mirror from the opposite side. Like, this is basically like another development company helping. That's funny. It's like they're helping take Nintendo's actual franchise and like actually push it to the next level in terms of a lot of things. Like, I'm not even far into the game, but so far I'm giving like a lot of credit to this layout and using the Virtual Boy and not just having it be just bland. Like, it adds a lot to the game, and I actually appreciate that. It's making the game like pretty good. My sister buy me Super Nintendo. Well, that's good. Did you ever have a Super Nintendo like growing up, or did you have one and then get rid of it and now you're getting it back? Or because you say my sister buy me Super Nintendo, so I don't know if that means she's going to be buying you one or she already did. The poltergust goo of yours has a new feature that I like to call suction shot. It'll work as a weapon for you on your adventures. Use Y to fire the rubber plunger. You can stick it on a flat and smooth surface. And use the poltergust G00 to suck up the rope, and then press A. You can tuck a match and pull off a powerful slam to break them. Ziga ziga, zaga zaga. You should start shooting it at things right away. Patience makes perfect after all. Oh, and don't forget to get my briefcase, Luigi. And that's just funny that he's like got the thing up to his eyes. But yeah, I am tired and I'm going to end the stream right about here. It's been a fun one, and thank you guys for coming out to watch Luigi's Mansion 3. If you guys would like to see more of this streamed, I might be streaming more of it, but I might also play a little bit of it in handheld mode. Probably not right now, but maybe a little bit, and hopefully I don't get sucked back into it. But yeah, appreciate you guys, and thank you for coming out. This has been D-Dub coming live from D-Dub headquarters, and this has been Luigi's Mansion 3. As always, guys, thank you. Have a good night. Happy Halloween. And I will see you guys on the next